In this video, we are looking at simplifying radicals. And basically what we do is we have this radical like the square root of 8. We take the 8 off to the side and we find its prime factorization. You can use the factor tree method, or if you would like to look up the upside down birthday cake method, you could use that as well. Once we have found the prime factorization, we rewrite the radical with that prime factorization underneath. 2 times 2 times 2. We then circle pairs, and once we circle a pair, then that means one of those can come out. As a pair, one number comes out. So this pair brings a 2 out. This 2 isn't paired up, so he has to stay underneath the radical. So we're left with 2 times the square root of 2. So this is the simplification for the square root of 8. For 20, we do the same thing. We take 20 and split it up into 2 times 2 times 5, which is its prime factorization, and we rewrite the radical using that prime factorization. We again circle our pair of 2's, bring that 2 out, the 5 stays underneath, so the square root of 20 simplifies to be 2 times the square root of 5. In example 3, since we've already found the prime factorization of 8, I just went ahead and wrote that down. 2 times 2 times 2. Well, now we have these variables under the radical, but we can also simplify those. X to the third just means x times x times x. And y squared just means y times y. So once we have 8x to the third y squared rewritten, then we can start circling our pairs. We have a pair of 2's, a pair of x's, and a pair of y's. So this pair of 2's brings out a 2. The pair of x's brings out 1x, and the pair of y's brings out 1y. Left up underneath the radical is 1, 2, and 1x. So the square root of 8x to the third y squared will simplify to be 2xy times the square root of 2x. In example 4, we have the square root of 48a to the fourth b. So we use the factor tree to get the prime factorization. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. Then we have a to the fourth. A times a times a times a, and then we have b. So we have the times b. Again, circle your pairs. This pair of 2's brings out a 2. This pair of 2's brings out another 2. This pair of a's brings out an a, and this pair of a's brings out another a. This 3 doesn't have a pair, neither does this b, so they stay underneath. So we have 2 times 2 times a times the square root of 3b. Now we simplify what's out front. 2 times 2 is 4. A times a is a squared. So we have 4a squared times the square root of 3b. In our final example, we have a 2 already outside the radical. So again, we're trying to simplify the radical. So we're going to bring that 50 over here, get its prime factorization. This 2 out front stays out front. The square root of 50 is rewritten as the square root of 2 times 5 times 5. So again, we circle our pairs. So this is going to bring out a 5. This 2 is already there, so it stays there. This pair of 5's brought out a 5, and this poor little 2 has to stay up underneath the radical. So then again, we just simplify what's out front. 2 times 5 is 10, and the square root of 2. So these are your notes for simplifying radicals, which go in hopefully on page 9 of your composition book.